Hello, it's Alicia with Ali.plans.cuteness, and I have been focusing a lot on my paper crafting and not as much on the journaling and planning lately, so both in terms of what I post and just myself, and so I want to make sure I'm getting back to the planner stuff as well and sharing that with you and keeping track of that for myself. So what I have for you today is my most recent subscription box for Hubman and Chubgirl. This is for, it was the July box, but it is for August. I always try to, I just opened it. I try to not rip this paper because it's really pretty, but that doesn't always work. But they, this year started doing these individualized boxes for each month, which is super fun. And then, you know, you've got the inside, and then they change the color of their papers. And so let's go ahead and look at what we got. I get the ultimate subscription, and that is most definitely way more stickers than I could ever use. And then here's, you know, the bottom of that box. However, I used to get the journal sub, which was basically like this. I think this one was the journal sub. I forget now what they're all called. Or the planner sub. I think this is the planner sub. I don't know. But these are all separate subscriptions. But basically, I do collect their pins. To the best of my knowledge, I have every pin that they've ever created, which is super cool. I feel very proud of that. And I really like their washi tape. So what I found is that I was getting their subscription, and then every month I was also going back and buying the washi tape and buying the pins, and occasionally I would get the planner kit. And so it really just made more sense. And I can't remember if the sticker pack came with this sub or if I was also buying that separate, because I did always want the sticker pack. So I definitely always wanted these pieces. And so it just made more sense to get the ultimate sub. So I get it. I have lots of extras. It'll last me forever, and that's fine. Because I do think it's a good value for what you get. I think it's $60, which is a lot. That is a lot every month. But for all of these stickers, and Hubman and Chubgirl is still by far my favorite stationery company. I have lots that I really love. I have like a couple that I'm subscribed to, but they are still my favorite. So I don't mind splurging a little bit for their stuff. So let's take a look at their kits. So we've got the pin. It always has 2 backings, so we get that every month. We've got the washi tape, which we can swatch quickly. And it's been a while since I've done a planner video, but I've shown this before. The way I open my washi is I tear into one side of the sticker, and then I look for where are those little, gosh, I don't know if you can even see it, the little like perforation lines, where it opens a little bit easier. And then, unless I lose it, and then I use that and kind of tear up and hold on to the top and kind of use the edge of the washi tape as a guide, and then this sticker pops off nice and clean. And then sometimes I will trim off the excuse me, the extra. So like if you don't want all this extra plastic in your planner, you can just trim around that circle. But to me, this is so much easier than trying to neatly peel the sticker off, because I always get it torn and whatever. So I put that sticker, and then we'll do the same thing with the next one, and then we swatch. I'll swatch this first just to make sure we've got enough room. Go. Make sure I had a washi cutter. And I always make sure I've got at least like kind of one complete set of all of the designs. The Hubman and Chubgirl tends to put a lot of different designs, which I am not mad about. And so I usually need to do a few of these. There. So we'll look at this one. You can see we've got Life's a Peach, and then Peach Vibes, You're a Peach, Sweet Peach, Just Peachy, and then we come back to the start with Life's a Peach. So I've got a complete kind of run of what is on their washi, and then we'll do the same thing here. Yeah. I used to try to save both, like I would try to save this piece too, but there's no point really. I just need one, and then I just had little random stickers all over the place, and so as long as I have one good one. On this one, there's most of that edging came off, so I am not going to worry about that too much. And then we're going to go ahead and swatch this one. Goodness. All right, there we go. And this one, it's kind of harder to tell exactly where the design runs out because it's like the same kind of pieces, just all like turning around. So I'm sure if you stared at it closely, you could figure that out. And then this is a really thin washi tape. And then this one, they do different things. Sometimes they have foiling. This one is like their kind of really light glitter. So it's hard to see. I don't have great light right now, but it'll have like a tiny bit of shimmer. It's a little bit thicker. Some people like that, some people don't. I like it, but they tend to switch it up. So sometimes, you know, they'll have both thin ones. They always have at least one, usually that's thinner, like the thin plain washi tape, but then sometimes they'll foil or do the shimmer or whatever it is. So those are the washi tapes. And now let's look at all of these stickers. So there are tons and tons of stickers that come each month. Let's start with the journal kit. And there's also each month a little bonus. So these are the die cuts that come with the sub. I think you can only get those with the sub, and then there's a little bonus that you can only get with the sub. So this month it's a little teeny sticker book. This is very cute. I actually like this size. Last time they've done them a little bit bigger, and I actually think this tiny square is just adorable. So a little sticker book that you can use to hold your stickers, and then you get their big sheets. So they've got their thicker designs, and these stickers are vinyl, so they are thicker. You can use them on pretty much anything. They peel off really easy. I get spoiled because I'll use their stickers and I can peel and adjust, and then sometimes I try to use something else and I'm like, oh shoot, it's stuck, I can't change it. And then there's always a little like journal card that comes with each sub, and it kind of describes like what it is that they are kind of going for, or like what's the theme and why they picked that theme. So I always put that in. So in my swatch book, you can see I'm a little bit behind, but like for January, I put that in here. And so then you have that, same thing with February and so on. So I always put that in there so that I have it. It's like a little marker for that month. So that's the big stickers, and then you get little stickers. So there's decorative stickers, right? So you've got all these little peaches. Oh, I like the sleeping peach. Very cute. And then there's also like planner stickers that you can use. So we've got the months. I like that they added this in. So they had these for a while and then they took them away, and now they added back in like the decorative months, and I like having extras because I do like to put them in different places. We've got the days of the week, and then date dots with little decorative days of the week, and then another set of date dots. So if you are doing kind of a a planner where you like to have a lot of flexibility, these are great. You've got everything you need for a whole month's worth of planning with the headers and the days of the week and a couple sets of date dots so you can date the month and the weekly spreads, and then lots of stickers. So that is that. I think, again, I'm not sure. And then you also get these nice sleeves that I use to tuck everything in. So I have them all organized by month. I'm pretty sure the planner sub, again, gets this. I think they all do, but I'm not sure. That's something you can go to their website and you can see what all their subs get, because, as I said, I now get everything. So, we've got these little die cuts, and again, these, I've used these on cups. I've used them on mugs. I've had no issues. I run them through the dishwasher. Everything in my house goes through the dishwasher. Oh, I like the little box. They've never peeled. They've never faded. They've never come off. I have cups where, like, if it has like a decorative coating, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, like a metallic coating or something, the metallic coating is starting to peel, but the stickers are not. Like, they are good to go. I don't know how that works, because I can just peel them off and not worry about it, but I don't know. They are magical. And I've heard the same, I haven't done it, but I've heard the same with the little ones, that you can put the little ones on things, and they also, on cars or run through the dishwasher or whatever, and it's that same vinyl, and so it will stay on. And then we've got these. They used to put this as a separate card, and they started putting this in just as their packaging, which I like. I think that conserves, it gives a nice little overview of their stickers, which it used to just be a cardboard plain backing, and then, it gives you that extra design, and kind of conserves that packaging as well. So you don't have as much different papers. So we've got these. So these are the specialty stickers or variety stickers. These are always going to be, the journals are always, it's like 3 of the big sheets of designs, and then you get those same set of little designs. These kind of vary from month to month, and they don't vary a ton. There's a lot that you'll see over and over again, but there's always a little bit of variation. So here we've got these little, they're not washi actually this month. They're like a clear, like vinyl type sticker. We got these stamps, and both of those sheets are foiled. This is more like a cardstock type sticker or a paper sticker. These are washi. So we've got these washi strips. We've got these. I like to always put these in my, like, the side column of my planner to, like, have little reminders or things like that. These little, like, windows. These are also, like, the paper cardstock. They're kind of thicker. These are, like, cardstock. We've got these that have, if you can see it, like a shimmer. It's kind of hard to see, but there's, like, a shimmer overlay, which is fun. These are another set of the washi stickers. And then these are like little emojis, the angry peach. So there you go. So that's those. And then finally there's 2 different sticker packs. Really the only thing I had never really purchased before were the Hobonichi kits, because I wasn't necessarily, like, I don't use a Hobonichi, but they got added into the journal sub. I think at first, or the ultimate planner sub, I think at first it was just these, and then they added this in as well. And I actually find, like, a lot of these little stickers, even though I don't have this type of planner, like, they're a nice little add-on. So I definitely use these, even though they might not be the exact size. So we've got this is more for, like, your A5 planner, where you've got the decorative boxes, kind of like the journal kit. Then this is, yeah, that's the journal kit. This is the planner kit. These are pretty standard. So, like, every month you're going to get this cover sheet of, like, deco stickers. And then you're going to get these boxes, and then some different size boxes, like washi strips. You got your, like, trackers and lists. And these little tabs, I like to use these. You can see I've been pretty inconsistent with my stickers, but like I use them to kind of mark each month in my little washi and sticker journal. And then we've got more, you know, we've got to-do lists, we've got weekend, we've got, you know, days of the week, and then you've got a bunch of headers for days of the week. So this also could last you a month if you wanted to use this instead. This is good for these like vertical planners. I'm sure it fits other things as well. And then finally, we've got the Hobonichi kit. And so this has, so the things that I like personally, even though I don't have a Hobonichi, is like it's got some different little trackers. It's got some little headers, so like sometimes if I'm trying to make something or do something different, those will fit. These are a little big for the squares, but sometimes they can fit like as, you know, a little square on top. And then this is where you do have these icon stickers, which you don't have anywhere else. So if you wanted to use these little icon stickers, little reminders of different things, we've got more washi strips. I use these a lot. More little deco boxes, and again, more headers, laundry, gratitude, work, groceries. And then we've got little boxes, which you can kind of use to squeeze in. And these are these little strips. Yeah, so these are like little strips, which I like to use as like little separators or headers for things. And then you've got these guys. I love these. Also having like all these little like headers or dividers. They're little days of the week. Again, they're a little bit small, but you know, they definitely can be used in a planner, and I like how they're just a little bit different. More trackers. And then you've got, again, more trackers and more days of the week. So plenty of stickers if you pretty much anything that you would need. Again, I love Hubman and Chubgirl, so I don't mind having all these stickers. It actually helps me to not hoard them. I used to like save so many, I didn't want to put them in my planner, and now I'm like, okay, you have an abundance, you can use them. And the same thing, another thing I did to like help stop hoarding is making these pages. So I would put, you know, make sure I had at least one of each different kind of little like shape or icon, and then I didn't mind using them because if I want to go back and look at them, I can look at them in my little book, which I do sometimes. So this, we're going to make a monthly spread together. I'm going to use mostly the journal kit, so it should go pretty quickly. Yes, I'm going to use this guy. So we're not going to do a ton with it, but basically what I am making here, I started to create a little planner for all of these swaps. So I started to make little planner and lay out dates as I was doing more and more swaps. You can see things get a little bit hectic, especially when they start moving around and stuff like that. So I created a planner just to keep track. And then also, I make sure, yeah, like this doesn't have any individual information. So I'll list like the requirements, and it also is just a fun, I like to look at these, but I'll list the requirements and see like this one, you could do, you know, up to 2 swaps. Sometimes I'll do 2, sometimes I do 1, but I always put the boxes there so that I have, you know, the options. And then, let's see. Just want to make sure I don't have people's addresses or things showing. But yeah, then I'll put all their information, put like addresses or who I need to send it to or dates. So this has actually been really helpful because otherwise I have to keep going back in my phone and looking at, you know, all the different little pictures. And so I'm going to set up one. I kind of stopped here with July, and I'm starting to run out of pages. I have a few, obviously, but I wanted to do just to kind of have one that is going to last me a lot longer. And I also wanted one where I don't have to make, like these I made all the calendar spreads, and I wanted one that has calendar spreads in it. So we are going to start this one with August. So we'll put the header up here. And I usually like to use the thicker washi tape to decorate across the top. I often, especially with these thicker tapes, I'll split it over the spine. You don't have to do that, but I just feel like these spines, I've never had one like break or anything, but I feel like it just maybe in theory alleviates some of the kind of pressure that gets put on these spines if I don't have that really thick bulky tape right in the middle there. So we've got August, and then let's see, well, you know what, I use my phone as my calendar, and I don't know what August looks like right now because I'm using my phone to record, so that's fun. Oopsies. I usually do like a Monday start for my months, especially because that's kind of how I think of my week. I actually think I want to use, let's use these bigger guys. And here we go. So I think I'll use these because then I don't need, I think these fit in here. Yes, perfect. So we've got Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to alternate just to add a little variety. The fonts are different. The one is abbreviated, one is not. So if that, bothers you, you can of course just do straight across. But sometimes I like to mix these up just to add a little interest. So I like the alternating solid and pattern. And Wednesday. These ones don't peel off easily. So Monday, Tuesday, dang it, see? Ugh. And that is the issue. See, these ones don't peel as easily. I'm just going to cover this, which again, normally that would make me a little bit sad, but I never use up, like you see I have 10,000 date covers or days of the week covers, and so we're just going to do this and be more careful. So I'm going to say Thursday. Silly. Were you watching and you were like, what are you doing? You put the same day. Friday. Saturday. Yep. A little crooked, that's fine. And Sunday. Okay. And then I will add in the days later because clearly I did not think this through. Actually, let's see. I have up to July. So I think August 1st is a Friday. And then, yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead. And I'll use these, and then if I need to change them up, I can. I like to use the square ones on the square boxes, just because they fit nicely in the little corners. So Friday is going to be the 1st, I hope. If not, again, these I can move around. So this, you see, I can like put down, and then they actually peel up pretty easily and re-stick. I've done that many times because, as you just saw, I make silly mistakes often. So let's go ahead and put down all the dates. This is also a time where tweezers can be helpful. I don't know if I have any around here. Oh, there we go. Sorry for my arm in the screen. As you can see, I just kind of impromptu. I decided to put this together, and I was like, you know what? I have not filmed any kind of planner video in a while, and that is how I started. So I thought, as I set up this planner for my paper craft, let's go ahead and share. And this is also an idea I think that could be helpful, even if you're not a big planner person, or maybe you don't want to like spend all this time decorating. Just having something to keep track. Again, I know a lot of people use their phones, and that's fine, but for me, it just gets kind of overwhelming. Like, I take pictures of all the different requirements, and I will still go back to them, but flipping through and trying to see what's when, and then dates change. I also am going to use erasable pen from now on, because as you saw in my previous planner, when stuff starts getting changed around, it gets a little bit messy. And I have learned that stuff gets changed around quite a bit. So, August has 31 days. And so I'll use them all. Again, hopefully this is accurate, because if not, then oops. So I do have a little September nearby from a different kit, and so that says that the first is on a Monday in September. So if we do this, yep, I'm pretty sure we did this right, because we are landing at the right time. Awesome, very good. And then a lot of times I like to use the thinner washi along the bottom. So do that. Come on, there you go. Okay, perfect. Great, and then it's just like any extra decorations. So I'll usually put things kind of in the columns, or I'll put little labels over here. So let's see. I've got, what do I have? What do I have? These will be good for like this month. So this is a little bit tiny for this box, but I like it because I don't know if we have anything like that on the bigger ones. I don't think so. So this is like one of the things that I tend to do in this column is I list out, here's the swaps for this month and then the swaps for next month. So this is a perfect little label. So we've got this month, and then I don't see a next month, but I will use I'll use a don't forget for next month. So we've got this month, and then as I add more swaps that are coming up, I'll put, and these are, I love these little pens. I found these, we took a trip to Europe, which I had not been, so that was a very exciting trip. And in Italy, I found this little shop. What is the name of it? It's called Legami, and they just had the cutest little things. And these are all erasable pens, and they're all these little animals, and I love them. I've tried to look. I think you can get them in the United States, but they're like a gajillion times more expensive. So this will be next. All right, let's actually do upcoming. Let's see. Look, just erases. I mean, it's not 100%, but woohoo. let's do upcoming. There we go. All right, so we've got this month, we've got upcoming for different swaps. And let's just decorate the margins, and then this I'll fill in a lot more once I go back and look at what I've got. Let's see. Maybe I want to use washi strips on the edges. Let's use this green one. Don't have a ton of green. I actually think this is a little wider than this strip here. Oh, careful. These ones don't peel back up. But I did want to kind of divide this. So I think, even though it's a little bit wider than this little strip here, I like it. And sometimes when I have stuff like this and it doesn't go all the way, if that bothers me, I just find a sticker to put on top of it. Let's see, I want these. Let's put you. Boom. Not a problem. And then up here, let's get another one. I've got the words up here, so maybe I want a little guy. Let's see. And yes, and I'm planning, I use these all kind of interchangeably, so it does become a bit of a mess, but that's fine. Here, I'll use these as like little taboof and taboof. There. So that way I have, even though the strip doesn't go all the way to the ends, I have those little decorative pieces. And then let's do, and you could also do like these washi around the edges, which maybe for the sake of time, because this is getting kind of long, maybe that is what I'll do. So I'll put the thick one over here. This is, by the way, this is a Hubman and Chubgirl journal. It's their 12-month A5 wide. And so that's this layout. They have multiple different types of layouts that you can use. But this is their A5 wide that I am using right now. Yeah. The little label was sticking to me. I need to throw that away. So we'll do this over here. And and boom. And then I'll just decorate this as I go. So I'll probably put little stickers. I'll do that right now. Like in these boxes. So I usually use these boxes to kind of just decorate more and use up more stickers. And then when I have swaps, I'll use little stickers to mark. So I'm pretty sure there's something due on August 1st. I'm not going to write what because so many swaps have been moving lately. But, you know, I'll put the little icon and then I'll write, you know, the little swap. And then I keep a running list over here. And I'll probably do the same thing. Put like a little icon and write the name of the swap. And then when it comes to each individual swap, I'll flip back here. Now, before I was using plain pages, this is obviously kind of separated by columns, but I'm okay with that. Like, I feel like I could maybe use this as a guide if I'm trying to organize my stuff, or just, you know, use it like just a background grid and ignore the columns. So then I would put, you know, my individual swap information afterwards. And normally for planners, I don't like to have all the months together. That is one thing that annoys me usually about planners, is I like to have them interspersed. But for swaps, it's actually perfect because the swaps, like, it is kind of nice to see ahead what's coming, and then just go to individual pages. Since I'm not doing week by week, right, just go to individual, this is on this day, or this is this swap, this is that swap. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully if you are looking for ways to organize swaps and things, this is helpful, or just, again, general planning. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Until next time, happy planning. Bye.